Welcome to the Featured Anime Podcast. I'm your host, Jack.
And I'm Rick.
And today we are going to be talking about Moonrise, which was a recommendation from CJ of Anime Anonymous. If you want to hear the pre-show that we were talking about, and it was honestly just a hodgepodge of just random junks and profanities being thrown out there left and right and little mini rants and things like that. Patreon.com/featured anime podcast, $1 a month will get you access to that bonus content. And now on to the meat and potatoes. Set in the far future, Moonrise takes place in a world where humanity has established a loosely organized world government with all major decisions being delegated to a single AI network known as Sapientia, also known as Skynet, but it's neither here nor there. And while Earth enjoys its peace and prosperity, the moon has basically become a dumping ground for criminals and pollutants and poverty. A deliberate policy that has basically driven the lunar colonies into this poverty and resentment. When the moon's rebel faction Moon Chains launches a devastating terrorist attacks, destroying Earth's orbital elevators, the lives of countless people are changed forever. Jacob Jack Shadow, a privileged adopted son of the family behind the elevator project, loses everything in an attack and finds himself framed as a suspected terrorist who helped them take down the elevator. Driven by grief and his thirst for revenge, Jack enlists, air quotes, in the Earth Special Military Unit VC3 and is deployed to the moon to hunt down those responsible. But as he gets deeper into the conflict, the clear-cut lines between enemy and ally begin to blur, especially when he discovers that his long-lost childhood friend, Phil, is a key figure within the very resistance he is sent to destroy.
And that's our show. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, you basically laid out everything that's happened, going to happen, will happen. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This was not a good show for me. This was not my favorite. The storyline did not make sense. And I could not get around the fact that I still don't know what resources that they were fighting over when it comes to the moon. Because everyone was saying that, oh yeah, the Earth is getting our resources. The Earth is trying to do this. The Earth is trying to do that. All for our resources. And I could not for the life of me figure out what resources they were referring to. There's no water.
Right.
Like,
but you know what resources they did have?
Tokyo Treats?
No, they had the producers of Netflix, Studio of Wit Studio. It is an original. The genres are action, adventure, sci-fi, military. It aired April 2025. That's right. All 18 episodes came out at the exact same time because this was a solely funded by Netflix anime.
Well, at least it wasn't a diarrhea-ridden week or two. It was just one large pile of fun.
Right.
Let's call it.
Yeah. Well, for us, it's usually just one big pile of whatever it is, regardless, anyway, one way or another.
Yeah. Thankfully, we don't have to wait all that much when we're reviewing it, but good Lord. Like, first of all, not the biggest problem, but a large problem was the main character's name was Jack. And as you know, Jack and I here have... No, it wasn't a big problem, but
fantastic main character, by the way. Love the name. Truly just it's a beautiful chef's kiss. That's all that's great about that character that's on there, though. The guy is whiny. He's complaining. And what I didn't talk about, what you haven't touched on, is it sets up the show, honestly, starting off at the very beginning. It sets up like it could be a great show. It has a very unique fighting. It has very unique flow to it. But once you get past that initial portion of it, this is basically they took a shooter game and turned it into an anime because everyone was double jumping and sliding and shooting and maneuvering around like you normally would in a video game. Like that is all they were actually doing. And the sounds of it too were very reminiscent of like what you would hear when you double jump up, double jump to the left, to the right, everywhere else.
Yeah.
And it was honestly just really, really depressing when you get past that, because the potential honestly was there. Another thing is they immediately at the very beginning do not waste any time getting you into the thick of it, where you're like, okay, what the hell's going on? Are we like picking up in the middle of the fight and then we're just going to see it to the end, or what's happening? Or is this the end and we're going to go to the very beginning? And it's like, no, this is the middle. They went to the beginning, then they went forward, and then they went back, and then forward, and then back, and then they made it there, and then they made it past that, but then they couldn't decide on the true story of it.
Like I have to agree with one of the things that one of our listeners, CJ, had said. Is the show had phenomenal potential. It had great potential, but they flubbed it. And you're right. I didn't really make the connection that it's essentially a game adaptation to a show, or a show adaptation of what a game would be. I can't really say any particular game it would have been, but you're right. They do double jumps. They've got everything for a great show. The reason why for me that instantly, and I don't mean like, oh, I gave it 5. No. Instantly turned me off of this show and made it almost unbearable was the voice acting. It was not, they didn't phone it in. They had bad service when they did this.
Were you watching dubbed or subbed?
Dubbed.
Okay. Subs weren't that bad in voice acting. So.
Oh, okay.
I always,
I'll
as you
have
know,
to give them some grace with that.
As you know, I am always like immediately to subs if I can. It even has it flagged like original audio was Japanese audio, so I went straight to that.
Okay, I didn't.
Yeah. But
yeah, I definitely did not.
But yeah, no, the audio subs not that bad. Dubs, half the time you and I both know they usually phone that in.
Dude, this was exceptionally poor. Just curious, in the sub, did his adoptive mother ask if he was a virgin and then wants details in like the very first episode? Yeah,
like the first whatever. She asked if he and Reyes have had a relation, in a manner of speaking, to keep it clean, and said, why not? Why you guys really should. I mean, but that's kind of the thing that they play throughout. We're just friends, but we're not really just friends, but we're really just friends. I really care for you deeply, but we're just really friends. And
they didn't do the love interest very well. They didn't. It was heavy. It was light. It was heavy. It was non-existent. It was always there. It was never there. You're like, dude, just at least for my sake, for the whiplash you're giving me in this one relationship, give me some stability. And then the mechanics of the game. So again, I'm jumping off of what CJ had made mention of prior, where they've got technology that is able to shift into whatever's needed, right?
Well, whatever
a hand grenade or a gun, or
right.
But the gun needed to reload, but then it turned into hand claws. So what happened to the ammo? My answer to that is because it was projectiles, they used ammunition to fire that. So the gun itself was made from the material they had. And when they ran out of material, that's when you saw their cape kind of flash, because bits and pieces, in my opinion, were being taken and used for the projectiles.
No.
That
I will say no. And the reason why I say that is because they'll take the gun, they'll shoot, turn it into something else, and then take that something else and then immediately turn it back into a gun and start shooting. Where I think the reload though comes in is because they have these special, and it can only be used with special material or whatever it is. What I think the reload portion of it is they have smaller versions of whatever that material is specifically for a reload, so that way they can get more ammunition out of it, is what I feel like it is. That was not portrayed in there. That is purely my own subjective viewpoint on
no,
that is like 100% pure hypothesis. All right. So I just know that I've
yeah.
seen them flip flop in between back and forth for the weapons.
Well, so I have a question then. Now, in our world, material energy is not neither created nor destroyed. It's transformed, all that stuff. Okay. You cannot create matter from nothing. And my question would be, no, I don't just follow me. I promise this makes sense. The flashbang grenades came from somewhere, right? They transformed their machine into grenades, flashbang grenades, things like that. Some guy had one of the guys had a grenade launcher. Like it was 100% gimmicky,
yeah,
and everything like that. But like how, I know it's a show. I know it's not real, and it's probably going to be your answer, which is it's a fair answer. But for all of the other stuff that they tried to science away, a simple sentence could have fixed that. A simple one-liner explanation could have fixed that potential kerfuffle, let's call it.
Okay, what's the kerfuffle, right? Like, I don't understand the kerfuffle that you're saying. Like, you're saying, oh, they made explosives, they made guns. They have this technology, it's set in the future, and they have these special cards or whatever it is that literally is usable, and it's called engraving, and it's only usable in a very particular way through specific technological advances to make it so that way it can turn into whatever you need it to be.
Okay, I get that. But when it's turned into a grenade and then thrown,
right?
Like the material would have to come from somewhere. Good.
Yeah, that material is those cards. You've seen those cards. They're carrying those little purple cards.
Oh, I thought the purple cards were something else completely.
No, the purple,
so the card itself was the weapon?
The card itself, and they would carry, I'm assuming dozens of them, is the material that it would transform. And you've seen them turn the card into that material and then the material back into the card. Even at the very end, which is technology in and of itself, it's not just a plain piece of metal. It's technology. Even at the very end, when Sapientia, Skynet took over Reese and forced it, they got the gun away from her and threw it away. As soon as they threw the gun away from her, it turned back into the card and they destroyed the card.
Okay. I can see that. Here's where I was confused by it. I was, again, going off of the premise of neither created nor destroyed kind of stuff. So I thought those cards were universal, let's say nanites or something like that, that would go back into the cape. I thought the cape itself was the thing that they were using. Like every time they would blip out, the cape would flash. I thought the flash was the cape itself propelling them in a certain manner.
It's part of the technology, but the cape is also their protective body armor. It's also their suit. So one of the things for the cape is, in case you didn't notice, no one was wearing masks or anything else, but you saw that little transparent. I
assumed it was like a mask barrier kind of thing.
Correct.
Way more advanced than we have.
Right. That's what the mask is for. The mask is, or the cape is a part of that. It's the part of their protective clothing, and it allows them to be able to move and do the double jumps and everything else.
Double jumps, the speed racing, the levitation, and the capes themselves were specifically designed, at least from what I understood, to fight in zero-G gravity. And their martial arts were mainly effective in weightless areas. When it came to weighted areas, they were far less effective.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Man, everything just felt very disjointed. Everything felt very... Yeah, it wasn't strung together. Although, well,
no, it wasn't. And honestly, it felt like the first, I want to say 3/4 of the show, they were trying to figure out what they were doing. And then the last quarter of the show, they decided to shift focus from who we had been focusing on the majority of the time throughout the whole thing, just to kind of give him like a little, we'll do whatever with him, a little down the ways or whatever it is. Like, bro, come on. like, don't do this to me.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm glad that in one of the flashbacks, they answered a lot of my questions, but they did it in such a ham-fisted manner where it felt very forced. You're like, okay, so it's time to solve this question. Let's just give them this answer and it'll work. It'll be okay. It'll make sense. We're sure. And, oh, look, just explosion, kaboom, explosion, kaboom. I timed one episode. It was the best I can say. It was for a 26-minute show, and I'm taking the first 2 minutes and the last 2 minutes out. So 22 episode. 7 minutes were talking. Everything else was the ship goes zoom and the explosions go bang. And we got to do the loop to get into the... Okay.
Like, I get it.
Yeah.
They were trying to... Bro, I really hate that you're making me defend it. I really do. Like, I really hate that you're making me defend it. Okay. I just want to point this out right now. All right.
Because you like it. I understand.
It, to me, felt like it was trying really, really hard to be a Gundam. You had the masked character.
Yeah.
You had the moon rebelling from Earth because Earth is whatever. And the moon is just like this. This was a wannabe Gundam without the robot mechs. Right? That's what this was, without the giant robots. Because he had mechs, he had androids, he had robots, but that's what this was. The story, the politics, the main character strifes, what's going on, the whole political strifes, the terrorists, this and that, and everything else. 100%. This was like almost a carbon copy of Gundam. Right? I get it. Gundam is super popular. I understand why you would want to try and copy it. But if you're going to copy it, don't make it so blatantly obvious and don't fumble it. Right?
No, 100%. I agree with that. One of you just said something, and I don't know why, but it made me think that they pulled a lot of concepts from other animes.
Oh, they did.
One of the concepts I feel like well, yeah, that's true. But one of the concepts I feel like they used was from Code Geass, where you have the figurehead who came to power, who was a savior, kind of turned evil, and then they're like, yeah, but he's dead now. And but not really, kind of, sort of, and
no,
they're not really. You don't think so?
No, because the figurehead was the figurehead, and then the figurehead died, but he passed on the baton, so he assumed the basically the sod of who that guy was to continue it on. And then they told, then it was finally like, hey, he's actually gone. Sorry.
Okay.
But he was real. He did. And I say this because when the thing happened at the very beginning, when you see Bob make that declaration saying that happened, okay, you see Phil look up and go, what the actual hell, when he saw Bob.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And then
Fair
you
enough.
saw the aftermath when he finally met Bob. What happened with that?
Bob, do you know Bob?
I know Bob.
I know. Nice. Yeah, like, it's just
The problem is, and the reason why it's easy to get lost in the series is unless you're paying attention, which I'll say this, you have to pay attention. It's something you can't not pay attention to. You have to act. This is a very actively pay attention to show, because they jump around. They go back and forward, back and forward, back and forward, back and forward. And then they get you to the halfway point, or 3/4 point. And then they move forward, but they don't really move forward. They just give you like random pieces of conversation or random like interjections here and there that lead you to the point, to the end. But like a lot that happens and a lot that goes on that's never really explained. And they also had the parts where the action was fast, it was rapid, it flew by, and the parts where there was no action was just very slow and painful.
Yeah. Yeah, now don't get me wrong. In some anime, in some areas, in some books I've read, you need the slow world building to appreciate the fast-paced fighting. Here,
It could have been
I
done better.
feel like there was, yeah, it could have been way better because I don't think there was enough of either one to appreciate the other. And
Yeah.
they storyboarded this all wrong.
They did.
Again, it could have been great with minor tweaks. And when I say minor tweaks, all I really mean is if you would have taken out or moved one of the flashbacks to a different section and kind of grouped them together and made things sequential so that when you're watching it, you don't feel like, yeah, we're back to square one. Okay. That's okay. Who am I looking at here?
What's going on? Why is this happening? Yeah.
Yeah. And then like 7-8 minutes into a 20-minute show, you're like, oh, I know who that is. That makes sense. It completely throws you for a loop. It reminds me of the very first time I watched Claymore, where halfway through it does a severe backtrack where you know nobody.
Yeah.
Only to realize, oh, that's who they're talking. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. But here, at least in Claymore, it made sense. Here, you do it like 6 times.
Yeah.
And it's in different parts. It didn't make sense.
Right. The other thing is for the show, and I had a visceral reaction. It annoyed me to no end. Like, I wish I could go reach in and slap the characters. I don't know why it bugged me. I genuinely, it just like annoyed the living crap out of me. It really did. It's one spot. It's one little part. It was during a slow spot. It was when the big guy was talking to Four Eyes. And you know what big guy was doing? He was eating bacon with a knife and fork, cutting the bacon with a knife and eating it with a fork. Bacon for his bacon and eggs that they were having at night. Bacon.
Mm-hmm. It's
bro.
Perfect.
Like, I saw that and I was like, bro, really? And then the hangar, when they're getting ready to leave, the giant, massive, underground, super secret hangar that you have 2 exit points for out of there, they go like, nah, bro, we don't want to go out the left door. We want to go out the right door. Let's drive up, turn, and then drive out this way, because why the hell not? Again, like, was that really?
It's surveillance.
Like, bro, that is stupid. That is just dumb. That is just annoying. All right. Aside from that, you had random interjections of story or plot points or things that were going on or discussions where it's kind of like, hey, we should know more about this, but we don't. Take Georgie or whatever, blonde boy, and the only non-criminal out of the whole group, apparently, aside from George and Reese, those two having a conversation about her having to be taken and something else or whatever else. It's like, what was the whole point of that conversation? Who are they talking to? What is the point of having a conversation, commenting on what happened, how it went against their expectations for whatever it is, and then moving forward? Like, who are they talking to? Like, who did they get their super special secret orders from? Like, what was the purpose of pointing out that George faked his stuff so that way he could be there for whatever else?
I mean, you're making some really good points, but unfortunately, I'm gonna have to say that you're a bigot and you're looking too far into it, because that's normal interactions that normal people have. They have third-person conversations when nobody's around on purpose.
Mm-hmm. See.
So I mean,
at least mine you can't defend. At least mine you can't defend. All right. All of yours I can defend, and I hate that you bring up points where I'm like able to defend it. All right, bring up points I can't actively defend. That's what I ask from you. It's like that could be
okay. A point you cannot actively defend. Why did they flub it so hard? Why did they take something that had potential and just destroy it for no apparent reason? They had the money.
Oh, they didn't destroy it for no apparent reason. They thought they were turning out gold, not realizing it was fool's gold.
Why are you defending it? Why are you defending that? 'Cause
You
that's just
you know, you again, you have to like everything that I said, you can't actively defend, right? And it's like I'm not defending that they flubbed it because there was nothing to flub. It's an original story. They thought they were churning out gold, not realizing it was fool's gold.
so I do have a way to defend that, but I need to find out what it's called first. 1 second. So it's the Bechdel test. That's why they passed the Bechdel test because of the conversation you just had. That allows it to pass. It's a silly move. Not silly. It's that's not the right way to say it. That's not a silly movie, or a silly move. I'm not quite sure how to say that without getting in trouble.
I don't know what the Bechdel test is. Like you throw that out like it's a term I should know. What is the Bechdel?
Basically, it's a test where in a movie you have two non-male characters talking to each other about not another guy. It's
okay.
I'll have to.
I just pulled up what the
Bechdel
test is. The Bechdel test is a simple way to measure. You know, I'll just send this to you. I don't think you're going. I don't think it. I don't think it is what you're thinking it is. Like here.
That's not the right thing. Oh, it's a CH. That's why I can't find it.
I sent it to you. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
So it's basically to represent, or it's evaluating female representation in films, books, and other media. To pass, works must meet 3 requirements: to feature at least 2 often named female characters, they talk to each other, and their conversations about something other than a man. So
I don't get how this pertains to the anime though. Like, why bring that up? This has nothing to do with the anime.
Well, I think that's the point. I think that was the point in the conversation that you had a problem with.
No, the conversation that I had was it had no bearing on the story, and it was between a man and a woman.
Then I'm not remembering which one you're referring to.
So after Mary gets sick, they're driving back, or not Mary, the sister to the hacker girl. She gets sick with some random moon disease that was genetically modified or whatever it is. They drive, get healed. On their way back, sick girl and Georgie have a conversation. Georgie's the guy. So I don't get how the Bechdel
I wasn't
test.
thinking of that one. I thought you were talking about when they were, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I thought you were talking about when they were, the hacker and Mary were talking to each other.
No.
Because they were saying a whole bunch of stuff that it would make sense if somebody's watching them, but it wouldn't make sense for their conversation to be had. I'll have to look it up and see which one I'm talking about, which episodes it in.
Sure.
But yeah, that's what I was like. I can't understand why they would have that conversation in the first place.
I can't understand why they would
somebody
have
who doesn't.
I can't understand why they have half the conversations that they have in here.
Maybe it's just to take up space.
Probably, but like,
quiet time, if you will.
Like I could understand if it didn't allude to or possibly lead to a deeper like plot, right? Random conversation because they have to fill up space. That happens in anime all the time. That's not unusual, right? Having small talk or whatever it is while they're traveling from one area to another, or pick your flavor as to whatever it is. That I can get. Not the, hey, Mary didn't react the way that we were talking about, and I didn't expect the reaction like this. It totally went that. Oh yeah, no, totally, I understand. We'll have to gather more information, blah, blah, blah. Like it was all planned out and they were acting on someone's orders. That's it. Like no further context for anything at all for having to do with it. Like what was the purpose of that conversation right there? It plainly alluded to a much deeper conversation or something that had a further plot that they had planned to build on later down the line, but just did not. Just like they pointed out, Georgie faked his screenings when to get put into the thing when he didn't need to. Why did he do that? What was the purpose of him doing that? Yeah.
So your issue is they have a bunch of Chekhov's guns that they never fired.
Yes.
I mean, that's a very valid. That's a valid statement. And I keep pulling from CJ, I know, but when you're right, you're right. And he says that they basically had too many irons in the fire, but it turns out all the iron were actually aluminum and the fire was a glowing light. They had too much going on and not enough that would actually push the story forward, but they still had to go forward regardless.
Yeah.
So they left a bunch of stuff in the wayside.
Well,
And it makes
not even just that, the things that they had or that they were trying to allude to or build on, just you never saw the fruits of, right? So take Jack, for example. Big spoiler, guys. Oh, big spoiler. Jack's actually genetically modified by Skynet, and he's called Seed 1. And he's supposed to intermingle and commingle and build off of and whatever else with all the other seeds that supposedly makes him stronger, but it actually doesn't do anything, and nothing actually benefits the other quote unquote seeds. Like, he's just there. And Seed 2, which is Phil, nothing really happens when I'm here. I'm just basically like a normal human. Everyone's basically a normal human except for Muscle Mommy, which is my favorite character, by the way, CJ, because you asked that. And she can literally turn her arms into weapons and things like that. So
yeah, she was the what T1 T
Seed 8. Seed 8.
No, I was gonna say T1000, the one that could melt themselves into different formats and stuff.
I think it was only her arms. Yeah, only her arms.
Okay, well, I mean, she could still do it. The point of just liquid metal for arms. It was awesome.
Right. Yeah, CJ says, "Damn right, baby. Yes, Lord, Muscle Mommy Doctor." Exactly. Like, bro,
she was the most straightforward one.
Bro, it's like I saw her and I was just like, "It's my girl right there."
So I do have a weird one.
Who's your favorite
Aside
character?
From Muscle Mommy.
No. Who's your favorite character? Favorite character. Any character.
I don't know.
I know who. You want me to say who? I'll tell who. I'll tell you who.
I'm worried.
Jack.
It's Jack, isn't it? Yep. The most mundane cyborg ever.
You saw that name and you're just like, it's my jam right there. That's my man. You probably have a screenshot of him on your back, except my face is painted over him.
You know, that would ooh.
No. Yeah. For real. Think about it. Least hated character out of them all. Like, who's your favorite character out of all of them? Think about it. You don't have to answer right now, but I'm going to ask you in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, I'll have to. I will honestly. I'll need to ruminate on that because there's two that I don't immediately hate, and the only reason I couldn't remember their names, to be perfectly honest. But the only reason, so my first one is that giant tank of a dude,
right?
And the only reason I don't hate him is because he can cook. And he cooks well, and he doesn't seem to be very opinionated. Is not the right word. He doesn't seem to be very prejudiced. Like, if you like food, he's your friend.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, the guy is there, and he was in jail for murder.
Hey, if you like food, he's your friend. I'm a foodie, so that he was my first. The second one, I wanted to say Mary, but then she changed so drastically. She Mary sued to all live in hell. Yeah. I didn't appreciate that at all. Her first iteration before she changed, before the time skip, I liked how she was. She was very energetic, very outgoing, very in your face, and she wasn't shy about not liking the people from Earth. Like, she didn't hide who she was.
I don't. Okay, so
at least in the dub.
Okay, so you're like, she married Sue.
She Mary sued. Mary Sue is a common
fictional character who's usually way too perfect. Yes. How is she becoming way too perfect, or how is she way too perfect? She's not.
When after the time skip, she had almost perfect control of everything. She went from somebody who could barely defend herself to somebody who outclassed everyone.
She didn't outclass everyone. She still could barely defend herself. And it was Wiz B who helped and largely took care of that, but she was not perfect.
Oh, you just answered my question. Wisby. That's my favorite character.
There you go. Okay. Yeah. Wisby was there helping protect her and made it so that way she could kind of fight or kind of defend herself. But in no way was she perfect. Mary Sue is a terminology used for someone who's too perfect, too likable, too unrealistic in every expectation. Like she was none of that
with no backing.
And she had backing with Wiz, because it was even commented that Wiz helped her control whatever was going on with the giant blob going around. And the second Wiz got taken away from her, they talked about it like after the 5th time skip, when Mary walks up to him, he's like, do you have to have him there? And he's like, yeah, it doesn't matter if he's here close by or far away, he's still here and he's still going to be connected with me and helping me.
So they did say that in the dub, but they didn't say it quite like that.
Yeah.
In the dub, they said that he's always here, he's always helping me, but he's always like, I'm never away from him. And I always, like, it was one of those things where it was implied that there was a telepathic link.
Yeah, they're connected together. And if you notice the 2 wings and the arm, that was Wiz B.
That makes a lot of sense.
And that's why when Phil was fighting, he didn't have his right arm, because whenever he fights with that right arm, it's Wiz B. Wiz B was his right arm. So when she was fighting and had those 2 little like shields or whatever it was, that was Wiz B. And when she was fighting and defending, especially towards the end, she didn't want to fight or attack Riz, but Wiz B was forcing her to attack by using her arm, forcing her arm to move in a way, because the metal or his body was wrapped around part of her body, allowing him to control her arm, at least to a degree.
Yeah, I missed that completely. Holy cow.
This is why I said, don't make me defend it, man, because you're pointing out stuff and it's like, no, bro, they actually did explain it.
I don't think they explained it in the dub then, because at least not clearly.
Like, well, again, like I said, this is not a show where you can't not pay attention. You have to pay attention to this or you will miss stuff easily.
And it's really hard to keep, it's hard to keep your full attention on it because it's so freaking boring.
Yes, it's
is. It's so monotonous and so just hard to get through.
Yes, it is.
So yeah, I'll have Wizby is my favorite.
Yeah, there you go, Wizby.
Flat out. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they also don't stick. Yeah, they don't stick to their own rules. They never stick. No one ever sticks to their own rules. It's called plot holes, sir.
Yeah, they didn't even have plot armor. The gun bent, or the bullet bent around them because the dark hole of the plot, it was just off to the left, sucking all of everything that could be away from them.
Yeah.
Jeez.
All right. Okay. I mean, like, we could go on
trash this for a lot longer, but
we could go on a lot longer, but I feel like everything that you would be forcing me to defend. It's like, no, bro, here, remember this, this the whole time. I mean, like, that's basically what this is. It's like,
it's possible.
It came from like me hating the show, going, bro, you're actively making me defend it. And just to the fact that you have me defend it's
just the hidden love.
I hate having, and we've done this before. We've talked about this. It's like, bro, you make me defend stuff where it's like, bro, this is total trash. And then you're talking about, it's like, bro, it's trash, but come on, at least get your facts straight.
They were facts as far as I was concerned. It was bad. It was all bad for me.
No, there were a lot of open plots. There were a lot of like little nuances that just really bugged the crap out of me. It just really irked me. And yeah, you know, there's a lot, there's honestly a lot more there that I could go on about, that we could honestly go on about, but I think this is a good spot to leave off on. So on a scale of up to 10, sir, how would you rate this?
This gets a 2 from me. Mm-hmm. Like just for everything that I've said in this show, and even more, it gets a 2. It had such potential, and it just, if it was done differently, if they try it again with not even more money, just more passion, better structure, this could be great. Not one of the greats, but it'd be up there. as far as Netflix is concerned. It would probably be in their top 50 on the entire site. But as it stands, it's in the bottom 10.
Okay. I'm going to go with the 4. The reason why I'm going with the 4 is because you made me defend it way too much, and it really brought up my score, because it's like, okay, if it's truly as bad as what it is, as what you're saying it is, and the points you keep bringing up, I'm able to easily defend. It obviously is not that bad of a story to where it's like, oh, this is total garbage. It is a show, though, that you do have to pay attention to. You have to have an active focus on it. There were times where I looked away for a second, looked back, I'm like, wait, what did I just miss? What missed? What happened? And I had to rewind it just to figure out what the heck I missed. What did I miss in the 10 seconds I looked away to go grab something or to reach for something, and then I missed something? It's like, what the heck did I just miss? What happened? So this is a show you have to actively pay attention to. There are plot chasms everywhere. They give it a resolution. They do kind of sort of close it off, but not really. But it's like I can't see them coming back and do season 2. It's your 91 days-esque style thing.
Ooh.
Or style of ending that you absolutely loved and defended to the death.
I did like that.
Yeah,
I did like that.
That's what this was. That's exactly what this was. This was a 91 days ending where you're just like,
No, what? No,
yeah.
No, it was not. No.
Yeah. You had the resolution and you had the weird resolution at that. Yep. Yep. That's what I chalked this up to, as a 91 days ending. It gave it a kind of a resolution. Kinda.
Can I defend that real quick?
Sure. Go ahead. Defend your ending. Defend your ending.
91 days ending?
Yes.
You walked away. It was completely subjective. Did he die or did he not die? You don't know. It's up to you. Here, they don't give, there was no question. Oh, Phil sent a friend request. Oh, he's alive.
Is he though?
Yeah. Like you.
I mean,
that's the
let me phrase. Let me ask you this question: alive in what way?
That's not the point, because the guy was dead or alive. There was no in what way. It was definitive. He was either alive, because he survived, or he died from a gunshot. Here, if he's alive, and
there was no body. All he did was fall unconscious. Number one. Number two, he was hooked up to technology, and he still had the other seed that was with him at the exact point in time. You did not see a body at the end. You did not see any true resolution saying he died. All you saw was just him like fall over. Not dead, but just saw him fall over. And we've seen people who have had mortal wounds, be maimed horribly, horrifically, and still turn out alive. Right?
Yeah, so you're arguing your point. Dude's alive.
So what I'm saying is, alive in what way, though? Because he could be alive in the Skynet fashion or alive in the person fashion. And I'm going Skynet.
Okay, so we agree he's alive.
I wouldn't call that alive. I would just call that existing.
You said alive in the Skynet version. You used the term alive. He's alive.
Right, but let me ask you this. What is alive?
Not dead.
But what is alive? I mean, like, would you consider our computers alive? Would you consider ChatGPT alive?
I believe that our computers, I don't believe ChatGPT is alive, because
let me ask you this. Hang on. Final question.
Yep.
The Skynet in this world, would you consider that alive? And the reason why I ask that specific question is because when I say alive, and I'm using air quotes for alive, right?
Yeah.
I am taking on the assumption that, because if you remember at the very beginning, they were able to connect through the network or whatever it was to each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And on top of that, his arm is still very much attached to him, to Jack too, by the way, which why that would make a difference.
How'd that happen? Yeah.
Okay. I mean, like, well, you know how it happened, but I mean, like why that makes a difference. Because if you noticed, every time
Yeah.
he touched, it had a sparkly when he does certain things with the arm. I'm going to say alive, and I want to use air quotes for this because I believe he basically took on a pseudo-style living air quotes role, in the form that he is not in the physical realm, but the internet world.
So in the context of this show,
Yes.
I would say that Skynet would not be alive. However, if you were to transplant his consciousness from his body to here, meaning there's only one of them, I would say alive.
Okay, cool. So they do give it an ending. It's the 91 days style ending where it's kind of a bull ending, but it's an ending.
Dude, we just talked. Okay.
I'm sorry. What did I just say? Did I say 91 days wasn't an ending? I said it's a bull ending. It's a bull ending, right?
Yeah, that's why I stopped, because
Okay.
you went from it's a 91 days, you don't really know, to now it's a 91 days bull ending. So you changed it, so I'll accept it.
Okay. It's a bull ending because I still believe 91 days was a stupid ending anyways, but that's beside the point.
Mm-hmm.
But it is an ending, and they close it off. You can take that for what you will. So that's why I'm going with a 4.
I didn't know you liked it so much, but okay.
Like I said, you had me defend it so much that it's ridiculous. And the problems that we kept having with it isn't that I feel like you just wanted to hate this on principle alone. And when you were watching it, every single point you were like, oh, they didn't explain this. Oh, this wasn't there. It's like, no, bro, it plainly was there. And I feel like you would have liked it a little bit more than what you did if you didn't, listen to it while you were driving.
No, I didn't though. Because you're right. You have to watch it as well as pay attention. I tried. Don't get me wrong. I gave it the college effort. I tried to listen to it on my way to work, on my way home.
Yeah.
But no, I actually had to. I kept going, what the hell just happened? So during my lunch break, or when I'm waiting for people to do their thing, I would watch 2-3 minutes at a time. My lunch break was a good hour, so I was able to actually watch 2 episodes. But I actually had to pay attention to it for that time. That being said, you might be right. I didn't want to like it after the first episode because I thought that they did things super poorly.
Right. I
thought that everything that came after the first episode was not up to any criteria I would have accepted.
Yeah. Yeah. No, honestly, if you didn't force me to defend it and think about it hard, I probably would have landed at a 2, but because you forced me to actively think and defend it, that's what brought it up.
Oh, well, I mean, CJ is kind of agreeing with you in a weird way, the king of bringing up shit tier anime and lowering great anime. So, I mean, my score was fairly low.
No, he's saying you're the king of forcing me to raise my score by just having unrealistic viewpoints or things that I have to actually defend. That it's like, all right, well, if I'm defending it this much, in all honesty, I can't rate it as low as what I originally was going to.
I mean, I appreciate the fact he thinks I exhibit that kind of control over you.
No, it's the fact that you're like actively making me go the opposite direction of where I was.
When he gets into the post show, I'd love to know which great anime I lowered.
I've rated a 1 out of spite.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. All right. What about next week?
Next week we are going to be talking about Reign of the 7 Spellblades, which was a recommendation from Major Montana.
Okay.
Yep. So if you feel like we did too much justice and not enough justice or anything like that, feel free to contact us and let us know. All our contact information is in the show notes, as well as on our website at featuredanimepodcast.com. You can also join us on Discord and talk to us and hang out with us in there. And then, of course, on stream as well, where we stream majority of our episodes on twitch.tv/featuredanimepodcast. And then, of course, we have some affiliate links for you as well for Crunchyroll. Get yourself a nice free trial or get a discount off their store. Links for you are in the show notes for that. And then let's not forget about Tokyo Treats. Nice, wonderful, delicious treats every single month coming straight to you. If you use our affiliate link along with coupon code featured anime, you get $5 off that very first box. And trust me, the treats are worth it. And of course, let's not forget one of the best ways you can support us is by going to patreon.com/featured anime podcast. If you go there, $1 a month to get you access to bonus content that we usually post with every episode. And of course, don't forget about some swanky swag, shop.featuredanimepodcast.com. And until next time, I'm Jack.
I'm Rick, and we'll see you next time.